It truly blows me away that no one has come up with this idea before now. The simplicity and reliability of a lockback design has always stuck with me ever since I first got into pocket knives. But it's been a long time since I've seen really anything new, and especially in this arena from CRKT. Well, I have two models, not only this KOVA full-size pocket knife, but also its little brother, the Kith, both designed by Ken Steigerwalt. And he and CRKT are bringing to the table what they call a front lock. And as the name implies, they are moving a lockback design forward from any other model I've ever seen before. And we're gonna unpack if that is a good thing, if there are limitations, and they're coming in at a good value as well. And it's just been a long time since I've seen kind of a new take on a lockback. So I'm really looking forward to showing you guys what the capabilities of these tools are. There are definitely a few limitations and kind of wonkiness that I'm not as fond of, but we're gonna have some fun today and see, for those of you especially who like lockback designs, CRKT is bringing to the table. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining me. You regular viewers are awesome. Thanks for hanging with me today. I'm Aaron, this is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. So we'll begin by looking at the KOVA and really unpacking this unique, what they call front lock design. And basically what they have done is taken the lockback design and just shortened it up to be about a lock's, let me do this here, a lock's length forward from standard lockbacks. Here's a Spyderco Stretch 2. Hopefully this is gonna, I might have to run some photos to make it clear, but there we go. You can see where the CRKT engages and you're back a whole locking length or finger length on the Spyderco. Same with like the Cold Steel Voyager. When we line up the fronts there, you can see how the Voyager's lock is back a little bit further than on the KOVA. What that means, like what is, okay, big whoop. Well, yeah, all that is really doing, and it doesn't negate the use of your finger in any way. You're not gonna put your thumb on it by accident or anything like that, and it doesn't create a hot spot because of a gap or something. It just means that your thumb is a lot more naturally in position to disengage the lock, and this is the first issue though that I have, and close it one-handed if it had a little bit better ricasso. You can see how abrupt that angle is right there, and that just wants to go right onto your finger, and that will definitely bite you. It's bitten me once or twice if you are closing it one-handed. Now, you can kind of like, as long as you're slow with it, you can kind of close, shake, and just kind of go slow, and you shouldn't get nicked. But if they had either just brought out the ricasso a little bit, or I might even take a little bit of a hit on the grinder right there and just kind of round that little lip, that last little 1/8 of an inch right there, to make it so that I can close it one-handed. But it's unique, it's interesting. The housing is all, you know, metal structure there, along with the metal liners all the way through. So it's very rigid right there, which is nice. I'm not seeing any lack of structure or lack of strength there. It's just kind of a cool feature and just makes it easier to disengage a lockback than especially Buck's rear lockback design. Not only does it make it kind of tough and you really got to do a wrist flick, but you basically have to use two hands to completely close it. I mean, I'm not me trying to disengage that lock back here. I mean, it's nearly impossible. So all they're doing is just bringing that up all the way. There's something in there that says like the liners act as a spring. There's no springs in here. It's not spring assisted, that's for sure, but it is super fast and easy on both of these models, both the full size and the mini Kith. Now we'll keep on trucking in just a moment, but I want to invite you to hit that like button, to subscribe if you haven't yet. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified every week when I put up new content, giving you guys pros, cons of different gear and equipment to help you make wise choices on whether or not it's the right tool for you. And it is truly you, the viewers, in partnership with our regular sponsors, that help me to get out here, buy this type of gear, test it out, show you what it can do. And I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is Rocky Talkie and their two-way radios. Now, I've had the original 2-watt mountain radio for a few years now, and time and again it proves itself not only in durability, which is really important around a job site, but also in its capability, having up to 5 miles in more confined environments of range, and then with line of sight up to 35 miles, and really having a lot of versatility in that, but also having the lithium ion battery that is rechargeable, so you're not eating through batteries. You know, you can just plug it in at the end of the day and you know you're ready to rock and roll, and if you forget, it's going to give you several days of battery life before before you actually need to recharge it. But if you need something more capable, there are the 5-watt GMRS radios, and these will provide longer battery life, waterproof capability, as well as a stronger signal. And having used both radios extensively, they've become an essential piece of kit. And that's just scratching the surface of what the 2-watt and 5-watt radios can do for you. And I'll have a link in the description box below over to the Rocky Talkie website. And when you click on that, it will automatically take 10% off of your purchase, just helping you get a little bit extra scratch off and put back in your pocket. So check them out and stay connected on all of your adventures. And we got some cool styling as we just look at that. Cool accent on the pivot. You know, you can completely disassemble it with different Torx screws right there. Glass reinforced nylon handles on both. The full-size KOVA being 3.5 inches, like 3.3 cutting, is going to have green and have a nice little notch there. The lips are not sharp or abrupt in any way. It gives you a little bit of a groove, really locks you in and fills out my large size hands very nicely. And it just has a very organic style to it. I really like the style. That's what made me connect with that. I was like, oh man, this is a cool style on the Kith, or excuse me, on the KOVA. Here we do have a 90-degree spine, and it does have a hollow grind on HCR13 MOV steel. Both are gonna have hollow grinds, both are gonna have HCR13 MOV, which is totally fine at a price point that I paid of around like 35, 40 bucks for the full size, and I think 30 for the mini. So that's a good value, and I have nothing, nothing against HCR13 MOV if we can get it for under 40 bucks in this day and age. So, but I'd love to know, guys, what was the last HCR13 MOV blade you picked up, and is that a steel that still makes sense for you, or is it basically a non-starter? Easy to resharpen, holds a decent edge, and with that hollow grind, it's very slicey. This is a very, very slicey tool, regardless of the size that you decide to go with. Now, I'll have links in the description box below over to the affiliate networks I partner with, so if you feel like you want to pull the trigger on this model, those are provided below. And I like even this, the green has kind of like a fish scale pattern to it. Very, very cool there. So I think this would be a great outdoor pocket knife, take to the fishing hole, just to use and not really have to worry about. Great around the campsite because of its sliceability with the hollow grind and the 90-degree spine. Good backup for just carving around the campsite because of the ergonomics. Now, the one aspect, positive and negative, would be like the recessed screws on the deep ride loop over pocket clip. That's an excellent pocket clip. Ambidextrous thumb studs that are not in the way of the cutting edge, but it's not an ambidextrous knife. There's no plate there to swap the pocket clip. So 10% of you, you're out of luck. For the 90% of us, awesome. But I don't know why they didn't just put that there. So that's kind of annoying. Good centering right there. Down the middle, the tip is recessed enough that there's no way that I'm going to nick that. And definitely, as just a quick competitive option here, when we look at the, they've changed the name so many times, it's like the Buck Select now or something. There is the Buck. It is going to be slightly longer. And you can see how it has like that rounded ricasso, so it wouldn't bite you, whereas this has that really abrupt, sharp ricasso transition. But it has that, it's ambidextrous, but it has a huge obnoxious pocket clip. Like this one has a way better pocket clip, but very similar idea, USA made 420HC, very similar performance to the HCR, and they're about the same cost. So that's just an option if you're looking for an American-made knife. And these are great, but when it comes to deployment, you really got to like flick your wrist, and you basically have to use 2 hands to close, whereas I don't feel like I have to do that. And this is definitely more EDC-able, the CRKT, than the original. Then if we go to the other model here, the smaller Kith, which is about 3 inches, a little bit less with the cutting edge, a much more slender, piercy design, but you got that hollow grind, HCR. This is a really cool glass reinforced nylon scale. It kind of has like carbon fiber accents to it. I liked it. It was really cool. Same pocket clip idea, but no ambidextrousness. Like, come on, ambidextrousness. And for a little knife, like this would be great as a gentleman's knife. You could possibly even fit this in like your 5th coin pocket, or you're just around the office, you just want something to slice open little things here and there and not take up a lot of space. It is not a bulky knife, very slim. This would be great maybe to give to your buddies, if you're on a budget and you have sorry, I was having a brain fart there. Like a groomsman gift, stocking stuffer, things like that. I think it would be a great gift knife because it's not super like imposing, looks good and like functions, but it's not going to break the bank. Around 30 bucks is what I paid for this particular model. And with my large size hands, I can get a full grip. Like my pinky is not falling off of that if I'm right on there. And again, from that lower, knuckle to knuckle, that's 3.25 inches. Oh, Tommy the trail dog following some squirrels there. You're okay, buddy. So this is a cool little compact option, and you know, for like 80 bucks, you could have your full size one for hard use around the property and then going hiking with, and then you could have your light duty one for around the office. And to be honest, I think that Ken, with the design, really nailed it. I like the idea of the forward-facing lock. I hope that CRKT does this with more models. I love lockbacks. They are one of my favorite models, and I think if they start integrating this into more designs, I for one would definitely connect with them, and you know, maybe we see them with a little bit better material. You're all right, bud. The squirrels are tormenting him. But yeah, I hope that this isn't like a one and done thing and these two designs have that type of locking mechanism and they go the way of the dodo. I hope that we see more models from CRKT with this locking mechanism, but I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Particularly if you own one of these, how have they been performing for you? I always appreciate you guys sharing your feedback and, you know, the pros and cons of your personal experience with these type of tools. Always helps me out to just continue to understand, you know, it's I'm sharing my perspective and what I have done, and when I throw down my money and use it, does it make sense? Where does it not? And, you know, hang-ups that may exist with a particular model. So appreciate you guys hanging with me today. I do invite you to check out the other video, subscribe if you haven't yet. Until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.